If you're in the sun in Metro New Orleans somewhere, just in a bad spot, it feels like 107. And if you're in the right spot and there's like a rain threat, it feels like 77 degrees. 30-degree feels like difference. Absolutely crazy. I was mentioning Buddy Diliberto, and I got to tell this hysterical story about Buddy. I'm working down the dial at WWL Radio, and just, the very territorial. They're like what do you call them? The legacy station in town. By default, they get an audience. I mean, I used to work there. I know exactly how it works. They're very, territorial and concerned about any competition, and there really isn't much in town. Most cities have 2 or 3 stations like that. Real quick, 99.5 WRNO that plays syndicated conservative talk, all satellite programming, nothing local at all. They're the number 1 talk station in New Orleans. Every quarter in, quarter out, they beat WWL Radio with their local talk, because WWL Radio doesn't really put out a big effort to like do anything that pushes the envelope or stir the pot. They don't really have reporters that go break news stories. They just have like news readers. They are what they are, and they have that little niche, and there's no competition, so they don't get pushed, and they don't have to do anything. So anytime there's a threat, they get nervous. And I think this is when maybe RNO, well, it's before RNO went to talk. Maybe it was someone else that was trying to do some talk, whatever. They had the rights to the Pelicans. I guess it was then the Hornets. The NBA was new in town. So, I mean, this is like, 25 years ago. So 20 years ago. So we're at this table, and it's everybody at the station. It's like Hokey Gajan, Kenny Wilkerson, Mark Shafisi, Buddy D, myself, any other on-air personalities, like this kind of program director person that just sort of keeps their job because they know, I don't know why they keep their job. And then the main boss, they just sort of circulate in and out every few years at big corporate stations like WWL. So the main boss is there, and I could see the agenda on the sheet, what they were talking about. And essentially it was, even though we don't have the Hornets, we have the Saints, and we have LSU. And we also have the Arena League team, the Voodoo. So the agenda was Saints first, LSU 2, Voodoo 3, push the Voodoo third, and then the NBA. And I remember going around the table, and, Hokey Gajan just like, he doesn't even care either way. It doesn't concern him. He talks Saints football. Kenny Wilkerson's just sort of, trying to make points. Oh, it is the NBA. It's a major pro sports league. And they just keep going around the table. They get to Buddy D. Buddy's before me. And Buddy just was like looking at something. And then he's like, literally like, Buddy, are you listening? And then he gets interrupted. Like, oh, what? And they're like, Buddy, we're talking about, the Arena League team making them third and talking about the NBA team fourth. What are you, crazy? No one cares about the Voodoo. No one cares about the Arena League. I mean, just goes off. And to watch the kind of person that just stays around for reasons unknown, that boss just sort of deflate. And then the main boss, just takes his pen and just scratches out the idea on the pad. They don't even ask me. They don't even ask me, like, Buddy killed it. I was like, glad. I would be like, yeah, what Buddy said. Exactly what Buddy said. No one cares. I remember when I first got into sports talk, it was like that we had the Zephyrs, the AAA team. I knew a guy had like New Orleans ties, and he lived in Salt Lake City. He was an older guy, been in radio for years. And he was the play-by-play voice of the Salt Lake City AAA team. And I called him, like, I'm a month or two into sports talk. We have the Zephyrs. Should I be talking about Zephyrs baseball? He goes, Corey, I do the play-by-play for the Buzz, the Salt Lake City Buzz, whatever the minor league team was called. I never talk about that on my sports show. No one cares about the players. They come out for the fireworks, for the fun. They don't care about the players. They're coming and going. It's a major league farm team. No, don't talk minor league baseball. I was like, all right. So kind of, you called this guy, and he's like, yeah, don't discuss that. Arena League football, same thing. No sports talk show anywhere. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're the Iowa Barnstormers and you're doing a talk radio show in Iowa, I guess you can talk about the Arena League team. It was just funny. Just Buddy D just imploding the whole, discussion just like that. It happened another time. This story's even funnier. It's the Mike Ditka era, and the Saints are like, 3-12. And everybody's down on the Saints. The sales team at the station has tickets they can give away. They held one end of it. The guy walked with the other end of it. It was like 100 yards long. Like they didn't even tear the tickets apart and hand them off to each salesperson. Couldn't give Saints tickets away. Literally. So I get in. It's on a Sunday morning. Buddy did like the 10 to noon show before the Saints game at noon. I did 9 to 10 a.m. right before Buddy, like a recap of LSU and Tulane for the first 30 minutes and then Saints pregame, sort of thing for the second 30 minutes. I get in there and leaning against the mic stand in the studio, Corey Johnson, a letter from, the station. I open it up and it's CC'd to Buddy and Kenny Wilkerson. It's like, hey guys, I know it's a tough Saints season, but we're part of the team. We're the 12th man. We got to put ourselves, out there and, be part of the team and put a positive effort, and I'm just like, wow. So I'm reading this letter and I'm like, really? 12th man? I mean, they're 3-12. What do you tell me to sell out and go on the air and make it a positive? And hey, they're trying hard and there's so many fun things to do at the game. That's what you're telling me? Blue boy, what? You're waking up down there, huh? Continue the story at the 5 o'clock power hour when I walked down to Buddy's office and he was prepping his bets for the week, looking at the gold sheet. And I asked him about the letter that the bosses had written us to be pals with the team, be the 12th man, support the 3-13 club at the time, 3-12, something like that. Yeah, I'll get it on the other side. 5 o'clock powwow next.
On the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Good boy.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters and You'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Here we go again. And it's the 5 o'clock power hour on a wide open Wednesday. Holy smokes. What does all that mean? I do not know. But before we get started, it's number 9, Mr. Drew Brees. Correctamundo. Thank you, number 9. Thank you, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a given, huh? Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock powwow on a wide open Wednesday. I'll be resetting the program. Got a full sheet locked and loaded. Lots to cover. But finishing up the 4 o'clock hour Buddy D story. No, it's kind of humorous. Years ago, Saints are struggling, working down the dial. It'd be a noon kickoff. Buddy D would do the 10 to noon show on a Sunday. I would do 9 to 10 a.m. First 30 minutes, I'd do like an LSU or Tulane recap. The second 30 minutes of my hour, I'd do like a Saints preview. And then Buddy would take over at 10. So, I'm prepped up already, but I'd still show up around 8 a.m., something like that, 8:15. Buddy D's already there in the sports office. Now, the sports office was this tiny closet. Like from the hallway, you open the door. There's a desk to your left up against the wall. There's a desk against the back wall. There's a desk against the right wall. So if you open the door, the guy in the back, his back would be facing you. The people on the side, their side would be facing you. So I walk in to go to work one Sunday morning and walk right by the office. Buddy's in there. I'm like, hey, buddy. He goes, hey, Corey. Just recognizes my voice. Doesn't look up from the gold sheet he's got on the table and a pad of paper where he's taking some notes, his selections for the day. So I walk down the hall. I go into the studio. I remember this like it's yesterday. He's on the right. I walk down the hall, go through the left door into the studio. Right up against the mic stand like this, there's an envelope that says Corey Johnson. Yeah. WWL radio letterhead. I open it up and it's not even seal. It's got just a letter and it's to me and it's CC'd to Buddy D, Kenny Wilkerson, whoever else was working in the sports department. Whoever else had anything to do with Saints football Sunday pregame. The Saints are 3-12, 3-11, 2-11 under Mike Ditka. They just sucked. They were terrible. couldn't give tickets away. The sales team at WWL Radio, I remember holding one ticket and the person walking down the hall with the other end of it, and it was like 200 tickets connected. Like normally they'd rip off 10, give 10 to a salesperson, 10 to another salesperson. Go give these to your best clients, those that want them. No, couldn't give these tickets away. It was a joke. They were horrible. As Mike Ditker, it was the bottom of the pit, as bad as it gets. So I get into the studio and there's this, hey, come on, guys, let's be positive. We know the team's struggling, but let's be the 12th man. We're the broadcast partners of the team. We do the games. We're part of the team. We're like the 12th man. It was like a kindergarten person or somebody wrote this. It was embarrassing. I'm like, what person with any kind of journalism integrity would even think like this? I mean, just leave Corey and Buddy alone. They're going to do what they're going to do. The team's 3-12 or 3-11, whatever, 2-11. They sucked. But I guess, management had, been hearing Buddy and hearing me and whoever else was on the air but Kenny Wilkerson for, last few weeks. Team's terrible. And they're 2-6, 2-7, 2-8, 2-9, whatever they were, 1-7, 1-8, whatever they were. They were terrible. So probably for a few weeks had been saying they suck. Which, I mean, what else can you say? So we get this letter, and I'm just like deflated. I'm like, wow, really? Really? I'm going on the air in 45 minutes. I got to be the 12th man? That's what you're telling me? I got my show prepped up. I'm ready to go. I got all these stats on why the Saints are ineffective, why Ditka's got to go, all this crap. So I go walk down the hall and pass by the sports office. Buddy D's in there, and I'm like, hey, Buddy. He's like, hey, Corey. I'm like, he doesn't even turn around. He's just into that gold sheet, just scanning the gold sheet, looking for his selections for the day. His gambling picks. He's writing notes. I'm like, hey, Buddy, can I ask you a question? He's like, yeah, sure. Does not look up, doesn't stop writing his selections, doesn't stop looking at the gold sheet. I go, Buddy, did you see that letter that they sent us, the management, the bosses, whatever? Oh, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, what do you think about that? He goes, well, they want us to be the 12th man. He proceeds to explain the context of the letter to me, the contents of the letter, which I comprehended the letter, But man, the team's struggling. They want to be part of the team. We're the broadcast partners. So literally sigh. I'm like, huh. I'm just like, so you're going to do that, Buddy? He spins, he drops the pen, drops the pad, spins around, reaches across the desk, grabs the letter that his copy, crumbles it up, slams it in the garbage can, and proceeds to say a few curse words with no at the end. Of course not. And I'm just smiling and laughing as he's sort of irritated and ticked off. I don't think he was irritated. I would even ask the question, I was asking him because I'm going to go with his lead on this thing, what I don't want to do that, but God, if Buddy can come up with a good reason, and I think it's, but God, I don't want to do that. Buddy came up with the exact stuff I wanted to hear. Hell no, of course not. Throws it in the garbage. I walked down the hall, went in the studio and did my regular show. So did Buddy. It was just funny though. Just the way he was reacting. I mean, at first I thought, God, is this guy selling out and he's going to be the 12th man? So Buddy, you're going to do that? No, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. I was like, all right, ease up, Buddy. Thank you. Hysterical. No, Buddy D had integrity, and no matter how crazy you thought he was or how he sounded, he had integrity, journalistic integrity, and he wasn't going to hype the arena football team over the NBA, and he wasn't going to sell out and be the 12th man. Have a positive show when the Saints are 2-11. And Buddy also knew that if he got fired or was, management was stupid enough to let him go or fire him, or he was forced to leave because they were restricting what he could do or say, he'd be doing his sports show the next day on a competitor down the dial and making as much, if not more money. I mean, It's as simple as that. And all those shows sold at casinos and all those remotes that Buddy D, they'd all go away and they'd go to the other station. They'd follow Buddy, not WWL. It's just funny. Buddy owned it. Buddy controlled it. He knew it. They knew it. I knew it. I just, hooked my wagon to Buddy in those situations. It was like, thank God for him. Thank God I got this seasoned veteran that has huge ratings, that has power, that has journalistic integrity, and isn't going to listen to a bunch of silliness and insanity. No, thank God for Buddy D. Corey Johnson with you, Wide Open Wednesday. All right, let's get into it. 5 o'clock power hour. Tire dumping continues in New Orleans East, but some good news. I've been talking about GoCam, a little battery pack, a solar panel, motion detector, ideally a cellular connection. You can watch it live, a little GoPro. Put those in a tree, on a pole, camouflage it. The tire dumpers out on Me Shoot out in the East wouldn't even know it existed. Oliver Thomas told me, and I don't know if it's true or not, why would he make this up? Doesn't benefit him. Said 18-wheelers come in as far away as like Tennessee and Alabama. Like a few $100s in diesel to drive down New Orleans and illegally dump tires is better than paying the tire fee in Tennessee or Alabama. We save hundreds, if not over $1,000 a load. So no, it's a popular destination for people to dump tires. Someone's getting paid by an automotive place that does tire work, a tire shop, to pick up their tires. They're getting paid to haul away the tires. And then they're illegally dumping them instead of paying a dump to legally take them. So no, now some cameras, from what I'm hearing, from what I understand, are set up in the East, and the police are a little more proactive. A few people have been arrested. There's some other people, they know their names, they know the vehicles, they're just looking for tips to go get them. Lastly, like I said last hour, the neighbors have to play a part. You folks out at Me Shoot, you can't just look the other way. You got to be proactive. You can't be lazy. You got to be, the opposite. Focused and going after it. No, shoot some video, take some cameras, get license plates, that type of stuff. Describe the people, what they looked like. I mean, don't go get yourself hurt doing it, but these are people that are dumping tires. These aren't like violent criminals. Shoot some video, get these jokers arrested. The legislature should have changed the law in New Orleans. You illegally tire dump, the city of New Orleans will take your vehicle, seize your vehicle. It's like the four-wheelers. It's illegal to ride a four-wheeler in New Orleans. We're seizing your four-wheeler. You're going to jail. No, seize an 18-wheeler or two from Alabama or Tennessee. The word will spread quick, and the dumping tires at Me Shoot in New Orleans East will go away. No, finally, my God, finally. Been talking about this for years. And it ain't like $100,000 investment. It's a few $1,000 for the whole setup. Couple of GoPros, some motion detectors, solar panel with batteries, and a cellular hookup. This is 2025. It's not even super high tech. Corey Johnson with you, coming right back. Wide Open Wednesday.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Oh, stressed for a minute earlier today. I didn't have a bowl of rice. No, not to eat, to stick my key fob for my car in. Yeah, I got the outdoor cat, Puffy, and now this other cat's been popping up lately. Been feeding that one too. And Puffy seems to get along with the cat pretty much, so I guess they're friends. So now I'm about to adopt a second outdoor cat. That's great. More vet bills, more spaying and neutering, all of that. Double the food costs. Anyway, I love animals, so it works out good. I'm glad this other cat's popped up, believe it or not. But anyway, I'm walking out the door, coming here. I got just a little, water bowl by the back door, probably in a bad spot. Apparently so, because I'm locking my door. I dropped the key and it lands right in the water bowl. And it was in the water bowl for a second. And I was just kind of, filling my Depends up, nervous, crapping in my pants, like, this key fob's going to go out now. So I'm literally like kind of hitting it softly into first on my pants leg, and I'm seeing the water on my pants. And then I'm hitting into a napkin. The napkin's getting wet, and kind of took it apart and dried it out as well as possible. And then rolled the dice, and it locked my door. Key fob's like minimum $250 for a new one, like $250. Anyway, that's life. Sometimes you get a little pile of what thrown in front of you. You just got to deal with it as best you can, right? Got to deal with it as best you can. Like air conditioning. You might come home and your AC's making a funny noise. All of a sudden, you're like, what the hell is that? Or, God, it doesn't seem to be blowing as cold, honey, as it used to. Or worse, it's not working at all. So this plate of what was presented to you in life, you want to knock that out as quick as possible. Total maintenance. Done. Fair and honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of screwing you around. Isn't that nice to know? People you can trust. Because I don't know about you, I don't want to learn about air conditioning at all. Don't have time for that. 2, I want experts. Lucas has over 30 techs, over 30 trucks, hundreds of years of experience. The last time I had a breakdown, I'm not kidding you, Lucas diagnosed it over the phone. His folks were there in about 45 minutes. The diagnosis over the phone was right. And yeah, 45 minutes or so, like there's a sense of urgency. They know your air conditioning's not working right. If you need AC help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. tm-ac.com. Problem solved. You get that plate of you-know-what thrown in front of you, like your AC not working right? You want that problem solved quickly, yesterday. tm-ac.com. Total Maintenance in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Wide open Wednesday. Speaking of 77, where it's kind of cloudy and there's a threat of rain, 107 feels like in the sun. Earlier today, right now, depending on where you are, you could have 95 degrees, feels like 107, or 30 minutes later or 30 minutes before, like clouds rolled in and a threat of rain and a breeze blowing, and it feels like 77. So like a 30-degree feels like temperature difference today in New Orleans, and it could be within 30 or 45 minutes, an hour. Absolutely crazy. Yesterday's story was Angola doesn't have enough beds. There's not enough room in Angola, like bustling at the seams, like may have to build more to that prison. Today's story, Louisiana may house immigrant detainees at Angola. So yesterday was Angola's bustling at the seams, don't have enough beds, may have to build more buildings, more jail cells. Today's story was Louisiana may house immigrant detainees at Angola. So which one is it? It can't be both. Can't be bustling at the seams and then we're ready to take on, some of Trump's detainees that might be deported. I don't care about either of these. I'm not making a political statement on either one of these issues. I'm just wondering, is Angola bustling at the seams or is there room to take on these detainees? It's one or the other, not both. Jeff Landry, his latest pick for the Levee Board East, Kerwin King, was appointed by Jeff Landry, just anointed, appointed, not presented to the nominating committee. This nominating committee for the Orleans Levee Board East is important because it's an independent board formed after Katrina, like 20 years ago, when we depoliticized these boards. I mean, the boards used to be a joke. All politics, Edwin Edwards and his friends, people making money off the board, setting up friends and family, BS jobs. I went to school with this guy, and it was funny. He's so proud of his dad. And we'll talk about his dad, like giving money to Edwin Edwards' campaign, and then Edwin Edwards winning, and then his dad getting appointed the lawyer for the levee board. And the contract for was like 20 years and X amount of money. I remember when Buddy Roemer came in, I'm at LSU at this time. Buddy Roemer comes in as governor and had to buy out my friend's dad's contract. My friend's dad's contract. No, I mean, I obviously kind of faded away from this guy being friends with him just because that was his whole demeanor all the time, like deviant crap and, giggling and laughing about Edwin Edwards payoffs and, the contract, the dad, and there's a kid in high school, college knows the salary of his dad and the contract, just all these crazy details. I mean, I don't know about your dad. I never talked about what he made to me. I have no idea what my dad made, money, didn't see check stubs, didn't talk about his salary, but just, that kind of thing, like this quid pro quo. That's how it was, corrupt. And I know one little part of it. I mean, I know one little fact-based story about it. Think how prolific it was. So after Katrina, we get rid of all the politics with all these boards and crap. New Orleans had like 7, 8 assessors. Now we have 1. There were a gazillion, like 4 or 5, boards of higher education. There should be 1. There's like 2 or 3 now. There should be 1, but got rid of some. Levee boards, there were a gazillion. Now there's only half a gazillion. But we, the folks that ran the levee board, like Jay LaPere from Latrim was on it for years. These are legitimate civic-minded citizens sacrificing time with their friends and family. They're very successful in life. You could argue they're taking away from their company for the greater good of the city, the population being on these boards. They have legitimate people on them doing the work of the citizenry, not the politicians. And Jeff Landry slowly but surely has been re-injecting politics into just about every board. And I mean, I just say this kind of stuff backfires on you eventually in a generation. It'll be Democrats in control, and they'll have all the autonomy and have these boards in a political mess just with their ideology. No, I liked independent folks, especially with like the levy board. I don't want politicians playing with my business or home potentially flooding. So this nominating committee is an independent board formed after Katrina, and Jeff Landry's just going to circumvent that. He's already shrunk the number of board members and increased the number that he gets to appoint, but they have to be approved. But he's bypassing that. He's bypassing the board members appointing the committee chair. He's appointing the committee chair himself. Jeff Landry is very much injecting politics into things that were depoliticized. And this levy board east, this Kerwin King guy, just circumventing the nominating committee that's independent and autonomous, non-political, not cool. And I know you Landry supporters are like, man, it doesn't matter. He's getting good things done. In a generation, it'll be the ideology you don't like, Democrats, and they'll be doing the same kind of stuff. I remember when, what was it? Obama couldn't get nominees in. So the Democrats pulled out that nuclear option and lowered the, Senate vote of 60 to just a majority of 50. And Obama had all these like lower level nominees get in with 51 votes, 53 votes, whatever the Democrats had. They didn't have 60. And the Republicans were playing hardball. Well, that opened the door, and Democrats can only blame themselves. Harry Reid, a few years later, I think it was Gorsuch was getting held up in the Supreme Court nominating process. So they pulled the nuclear option and went from 60 to 50 to get a Supreme Court justice approved. So now you have a 6-3 conservative majority plus kind of extreme conservatives. They're on the hardcore right. That was the beauty of 60 votes. It kept Democrats and Republicans in check. In a generation or two, it'll be Democrat president, Democrat Congress and House, and it'll be a bunch of Democrats nominating to the court, and it'll swing way to the left. What Republicans need to do, they already have a 6-3 advantage. They need to vote it back to 60 votes. Get it back to the Senate has to have 60 votes to have a Supreme Court justice nominated. Ideally, 18-year terms as well, limited to 18 years. But definitely the 60 votes, because that means a Democrat can't jam in some hardcore leftists. And the Republicans can't jam in some extreme right-winger. The Democrat or Republican, they're going to have someone that fits their ideology. That's a court justice that's leaning left or leaning right, but they're going to be somewhat moderate because they're going to have to get support from the other side. And if they're not moderate enough, they don't get enough votes from the other side, and therefore they don't get the nomination. I mean, in the olden days, before all this crap, it used to be like 98-0 for these Supreme Court justices, like all Republicans voting with all Democrats for the Democrat nominee, all Democrats voting with all Republicans for the Republican nominee. It was a consensus. They agreed upon that Supreme Court justice. Like 98-0. Now it's 51-49. And then you're not getting moderate judges. Again, when the people in power, the people in control, they like it. They don't mind these little snafus that are kind of unconstitutional. But in a generation or two, when the other ideology's in power, you're going to mind. You're going to mind. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
That guy's right on the money. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville is as good as it gets. I love some of New Orleans' great restaurants. Patois, Clancy's, Le Petit Grocery, Bayona, Brightson's, Irene's. I mean, I can go on and on. There's so many great places. I like Houston's on St. Charles Avenue. A little pricey, no doubt, but consistent and really, really good. And folks like Corey, that's blasphemy. It's like a chain. Well, it's a chain on super steroids. They do stuff right. Like an Allen Brothers Prime steak. Pretty damn good over there at Houston's. Try that filet or that ribeye. Allen Brothers Prime, a purveyor out of Chicago. No, I love fine dining. I love great New Orleans restaurants. We're lucky. Got so many of them. We punch above our weight because of the tourists and the conventioneers and all that. It's a blessing. I mean, I'm not knocking Jefferson or anywhere, but in Jefferson, there might be like a dozen really good restaurants. In St. Tammany, there might be like a dozen. Orleans Parish, there'd be about a dozen. But because we have tourists and conventioneers, there's hundreds. There's at least dozens and dozens and dozens. South Shore folks, that guy's right. If you like fine dining at some of the best restaurants, you love great New Orleans food, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Get over there already. I mean, I am putting it out there to where if you don't go and find it like very good, great to exceptional, I'm not, I'm giving you bad information. I would be shocked if anyone ever calls me and literally and goes, Corey, I went there and I found it mediocre. I'd be shocked. I'd probably be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll get 20 other people that have been there going to tell you it's very good to great to excellent to exceptional to one of their favorites. I fell in love with it. I love it. I'll be there this weekend. My brother's in town from London. My brother lives here, my sister, my mom, we're all going. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. I can't wait. Get my hands on some of that crab meat St. Francis. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Yesterday, we were talking about records of these teams. With LSU and Tulane, there are expectations. With the Saints, it's only hope. I picked LSU to go 10-2. 10-2, 9-3. It's the SEC. It's tough. Brian Kelly still has to prove he can do it at a big level, like win the big games. Brian Kelly has not won an opener yet while at LSU. But I've got LSU at 10-2. I almost want to put him at 9-3, but I'm going to stick to 10-2. I've got the Tulane Green Wave at 11-1. The Green Wave might be going to the college football playoffs. John Sumrall is just a winner. This guy is just knows what he's doing. What a great coach Tulane has. Saints, I've got him at 6-11. Like I said last hour, I think the Saints are going to win 6 games. I think the Saints are going to lose 5 or 6 games by a significant margin. Some of them, they'll be out by halftime. And others by the third, definitely by the fourth quarter. They're going to lose by 17, 21 points. So they're going to win 6. They're going to lose 5 or 6 pretty handily. And then I think they're going to lose 5 or 6 more that are going to be close games that they could have won, that they ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. All I'm looking for, I'm not even concerned about the record. I just want to see progress. I want to see a team that competes. I want to see a team that plays as well as they can, that doesn't get out coached, that finds somebody that's a starting quarterback, ideally, out of this trio. Jim Finks, the old Saints GM, Hall of Famer, almost NFL commissioner, said it best. I mean, like, long in the tooth. I want to see through a vodka drink, all kind of great quotes. You got 3 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. You got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. It's true. You need 1 QB, a starter. And the Saints have 3 quarterbacks, they have no quarterbacks. Tulane has 4 quarterbacks, but this kid from BYU, he's like the favorite right now to start. John Sumrall is going to find a starter, and most likely that guy's going to play all the time. He might bring in another guy, another QB who's like run-oriented to trick things up, but by design. But I think there'll be a starter. Right now, I don't know if the Saints find a starter like Tulane will, where it's the guy all year long. I think Tulane's going to have a starter, and he's going to be pretty much the guy all year long. I don't think they're going to, boy, he messed up, let's bring in the next guy and see if we get some success there. I think the Saints are going to be kind of juggling quarterbacks a little bit. And that's a problem. You need to find a starter who is head and tails above the other 2. The other 2 are clearly backups. They're never going to start because this guy's the starter. And the Saints don't have that yet. Maybe they'll get that as the season progresses. That's what I'm hoping for. A lot of hope with the Saints, but no real expectations. None. Tulane and LSU, different stories. A lot of expectations. The hope would be, I hope Tulane makes the playoffs. I hope LSU makes the playoffs. But the expectation is for both programs to win 10 games plus. But no expectations for the Saints. Not even I'm expecting them to play hard and be in it in the fourth quarter and be well coached and not get out coached. I'm hoping for all that. All hope with the Saints. Lots of expectations for Tulane and LSU. Hey, speaking of the Saints, they're heading to California. Maybe just getting to California. Chargers Saturday night in Los Angeles, preseason game number 1. No starters named yet. I don't know that. I shouldn't say that says a lot. It doesn't say a lot, doesn't say a little. Hadn't decided who's going to start. And it's preseason game number 1. Who knows what the Saints are thinking? Is it this guy is clearly number 1 and deserves to start? Or we want to see what this guy does in a starting position? I mean, all kind of different scenarios, all different kind of things the Saints coaching staff could be doing with why that person starts at quarterback Saturday night. Corey Johnson with you on radio, on television, on YouTube. You can find out everything, what radio stations we're on, what TV channels we're on, how to get our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe. It's free. Just go to our website, CoreyTalks.com. I think you can misspell Corey. You can put CoreyJohnson.com. It all goes to CoreyTalks.com. It has all the links, all the hookups for all the ways to check us out via radio, television, YouTube. Tire dumping continues in New Orleans East, but they're making some progress. From what I understand, they've put some cameras out there and they've busted a few people, and they've got other people by name and vehicle and license plate that are at large that they're going after. Now, these are good things. What the legislature should have done this session, anyone specific to this, anyone dumping illegal tires in Orleans Parish, their vehicle can be seized and will be seized by the city. And you get an 18-wheeler coming in from out of state, out of the parish, dumping a big old load of tires, an 18-wheeler's load of tires out there, and an 18-wheeler cab and trailer gets confiscated by the city, gets seized. That's going to send a message out. That's the great thing about the proactive policing we have in New Orleans now, and Troop NOLA in New Orleans that can pursue vehicles. Before, with the consent decree, the NOPD really couldn't even chase criminals. It's almost like you could rob the bank, flip off the cops, and get in your to-go car. And, like the movie Sin City, the cops have to turn around at the border of, the prostitution town or whatever. NOLA state troopers, Troop NOLA, they can pursue criminals. They don't want to. I'm not advocating for it. It's not a positive. Hey, go pursue all those criminals. That sucks. Car chases are the worst. Dangerous people can get hurt. Innocent people. Sucks. But the criminal gave law enforcement no choice. So the car chases have dwindled because the carjackings are dwindling. The stolen cars are dwindling. And because of all that, and the presence of police, Troop NOLA, and Troop NOLA clocking a few people with their four-wheelers and their dirt bikes, we're not seeing any of that anymore. Drive around on a Sunday. There's not 20 people on four-wheelers taking over Claiborne or Carrollton driving around. If you go to my YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube, go under videos. I've got I'm in the middle of a pack videoing these bike guys all around me. I'm not scared. I'm not intimidated. They don't care I'm there. I don't think they're like hard criminals. A lot of these guys were just older. It's kind of like, wow, in New Orleans, you can get away with this. I mean, one day I'm literally pulling up Gentilly by Paris Avenue, and I'm about to get on I-610 right there by the Popeyes. As I'm turning, I end up going into the Popeyes because I see a four-wheeler sitting there with a dude on it and an empty one next to it. So I go park in the Popeyes. I'm like, what are these people up to? All of a sudden, this woman comes out. The dude sends in his woman, walks out with 2 big bags of Popeye stuff. She gets on her four-wheeler. They ride right out. I follow them. They come out of the Popeyes. I'm like, are they going to get on the I-610? No helmets, no license plate, nothing. No, they don't. They beeline down Gentilly Boulevard towards Broad, towards Dillard, towards Elysian Fields. Speeding, no helmets, no license plates, no blinkers. I mean, these folks were like, in New Orleans, we can take our four-wheelers out. Husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, friends, whatever. Little couple riding around in their four-wheelers. Popeyes won't serve us in the drive-through in the four-wheeler. But we can ride on the streets of New Orleans. That's what that said to me. Popeyes won't serve me on my four-wheeler, but the city of New Orleans will. You don't see that anymore. This dude at Old Palmer Park, Claiborne and Carrollton, about a 45-year-old guy, not some criminal, sitting on his four-wheeler. And then there are a bunch of joker criminals tooling around on him. So we don't see four-wheelers anymore. It's illegal to have a four-wheeler in Orleans Parish. If you have it, it's going to get confiscated. That's how it should be. We don't see the drifting anymore because you get people arrested now by Troop NOLA for doing the drifting. They were drifting at the foot of the high rise in heading towards New Orleans East, blocking lanes of I-10 drifting. I mean, just somebody's going to go crazy and ram them. There's going to be a shootout. All that has been, tapped down because of proactive NOPD policing and because of Troop NOLA and what they're doing. Fantastic.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, your cool spot. TM-JC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Yeah, you right. Stand corrected, by the way. Saints play Sunday in their preseason game in LA against the Chargers. It's a 3:00 kickoff. It's actually the final preseason game of, I guess you'd call it week 1 of the preseason, not last week with the Hall of Fame game. 3 games tomorrow night, 3 preseason games tomorrow night, and 3 preseason games on Friday night. There are 8 day and night games on Saturday in the NFL preseason, and then 2 on Sunday, including the Saints at Chargers, 3:00 Sunday. Saints preseason game number 1. No starters named yet. Saints heading to Cali today. Get some practice in, get acclimated, and then 3:00 Sunday, preseason game number 1. Get to check out the black and gold. I always go into these, well, I used to go into these preseason games just fired up, like on an excitement scale, like almost like an 11, like a good 9 or 10. And then about a minute or 2 into the game, I'm like, oh yeah, preseason. Like literally, this would happen year in, year out for like a decade plus. Just be fired up, and then about a minute or 2 in the game, go, oh yeah, preseason, and be like, went from like an 11 to like a 3. I jumped out of a plane once, and dropping out of the sky at 120 miles an hour is an 11. The parachute pulled and just floating down to earth is like a 3. Very boring. Nothing exciting about that. Seriously. Like, what are you talking about, Corey? You're thousands of feet in the air. You're floating down to the earth. Whoop-de-doo. Dropping like a rock at 120 plus miles an hour towards the earth, that is exciting. Pulling the cord and floating down on the parachute, I was like, man, this sucks. Seriously, as I'm floating down, I was like, wow, I've never been so exhilarated and so disappointed in such a quick disappointment. Might be a little bit of a stretch, but just, can we drop some more? Cut the chute. You got an emergency chute, right? Let's drop a few thousand more feet, then pull the cord. That was fun. Let's go higher up next time and drop for a longer period. Pull the cord. Not at the very end. I don't want to die, but later. More drop time. And that's kind of like the preseason games. But now I'm kind of like, a seasoned veteran. So I know it's a preseason game, so I don't get fired up for it. I'll watch some of it, but I will not watch all that Saints preseason game. I used to watch every friggin' minute. I used to rewatch. They'd replay the game. I'd watch some more of it. Couldn't get enough of it. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Young's Dry Cleaning's been with you since 1940, New Orleans. They're literally a New Orleans institution. Tired of your dry cleaner? Simply want to experience the best? youngsdrycleaning.com. youngsdrycleaning.com. Yesterday's story was Angola doesn't have enough beds. May have to build a new, building, add more cells. Today's story, Louisiana may house immigrant detainees at Angola. Which one is it? Because it can't be both. You can't be bustling at the seams and then the next day, hey, we may take in some, immigrant detainees that Trump's waiting to deport. Can't be both, one or the other. Either bustling at the seams or there's room. Literally back-to-back stories. Angola doesn't have enough beds. Today, it's might take in some immigrant detainees. Crazy. Corey Johnson with you. The French Quarter trash contract, latest and greatest. All is good in the French Quarter right now with residents and business owners because Ivy Waste is the sole cleaner right now, the sole trash provider, at least for now. Yesterday, the Fourth Circuit did not rule. The Fourth Circuit heard arguments from lawyers representing Henry Consulting and heard arguments from lawyers representing the city council. The appellate judge Lebrano said the Court of Appeals decision or opinion will come, quote, in due course. Like the 3-member Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals committee or whatever, the group that listened to the arguments, they're going to decide in the next few days, next few weeks, I'm assuming, either in favor of Henry Consulting or in favor of the city council. And at that point, the losing party has one more bullet. They can appeal to the Louisiana Supreme Court. So this thing isn't over yet. But right now, pretty smooth sailing. Right now, it's a sunny, nice day in the French Quarter, figuratively speaking, even if it's raining, because Ivy Waste is doing the cleaning and the residents and business owners are happy. We'll see what happens. No, it's 2 more steps. The Fourth Circuit's opinion, and then that'll be appealed to the Louisiana Supreme Court, and then this thing will finally be over. French Quarter trash wars. I mean, it doesn't get any crazier than that. Absolutely nutty. Speaking of nutty, on this wide open Wednesday, if you're, near rain or overcast skies, slight rain, it's like 77 in the metro. If you're in the sun, it's 95, feels like 107. Literally in Metro New Orleans, you could be within 30, 45 minutes an hour. You could be in the same spot outside, and it could go from feels like 107 to feels like 77, like a 30-degree temperature difference. From oppressive, dangerous heat to, man, it's pretty damn comfortable. Nice to be outside, 77 degrees. My brother's in from London. I mentioned we're going to, family, all of us, a bunch of us going to 527, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville over the weekend. Fired up about that. My 2 brothers played English turn this morning, and they said when they teed off like 7:15 or so, it was like 77 degrees, 80 degrees, and like, man, this is New Orleans in August. They were shocked. That lasted for about 5 holes. And then you get a little wet and dew on the ground, and the sun comes out. It's just a friggin' sauna. You're just baking out there. They went from, man, it's August in New Orleans to like, man, it's August in New Orleans. Literally. You know what you can be doing in New Orleans or Baton Rouge? Knocking out that paint project. Helm Paint and Decorating there to help you get the job done right. Because paint ain't paint. They got Benjamin Moore paint, the best paint on the planet. Do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. 7 locations in New Orleans, 4 in Metro Baton Rouge, plus free 2-hour delivery so you or your crew can keep on going. Paint ain't paint, high quality Benjamin Moore paint, Helm Paint and Decorating. They'll steer you in the right direction in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Right, Blue Boy? Helm Paint and Decorating's the best. Over 55 years in New Orleans and the last few years in Baton Rouge. You're right, Blue Boy. They also own Texas Paint in Dallas. A New Orleans company owns a Dallas paint company. What, Blue Boy? 15 locations in Dallas. Wow. See you tomorrow, New Orleans. Thursday, 4 o'clock. Be right here. Straight up 4 o'clock. Radio, TV, YouTube. Mañana.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333.
Quiet,
also
Blue.
on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk.
Blue Boy, down.
93.9
Quiet,
FM,
buddy.
WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.
Good boy.